with the uncertainty still in the markets, I would try and keep it simple. Keep to the foundations of what you know and what you've learned previously. The data will point you in the right direction. Trust what you've learned and trust where you want to go, and you will get there if you look for the right signs. That would be my advice. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. We've been through bad times before, and I think we'll get through and learn from COVID and predominantly move forward from that as well.
Embrace the change. Embrace the technology. It's not as scary as it may sound. There have been changes in our careers before, and if we don't change it and we try to continue to do revenue management as I did it when I started my careers many decades ago, then you cannot accelerate the results at the same pace as the industry leaders. It is so important, especially with today's challenges in recruitment. The technology can help, the data is there, and the technology can consume it at a much faster pace than I can. Also just because I can produce the data, because it was my job many years ago to look and pull reports on top report, by the time that I'm done pulling it is already obsolete. And all this rich content that should come into play to make decisions and forecast and influence the outcome, they're not being able to be computed by my brain. But if we embrace it, it's here, then we can focus on what's important, driving strategies and driving better results.
I think it's about going back to basics and looking at the tech stack and how you're collecting data across the business to make sure that's in the right place for the future.
I think that the thing that makes the difference to us on a day-to-day basis is having our centralised commercial team. I think that our hotels do a phenomenal job at providing an exceptional guest experience, and we've hit a really good balance of the central team that are not distracted by the hotel day-to-day operation, which you inevitably would be and should be if you're on site, and building a relationship with the hotels and general managers. But ultimately the accountability and responsibility sits with that commercial team to do the keystroking and the analysis of data and pulling together that information they get from a local source in the relationship that they've built, along with their own data analytics ring-fenced in a specialist area, which means they full-time focus on that, has been definitely our biggest shift. And from a general manager perspective, having that ability to influence the strategy, make sure it's going in the right way, the directional change is there, but knowing you've got a really skilled team doing it, that are focused on it all the time, it has got to be a good thing, because it allows you as a general manager to focus on that profitability and that guest experience.
Technology. And using technology in the right way, because actually technology, if you bring in too much, can be quite overwhelming. So we've done quite a lot of changes in my whole time with Cheval on technology stacks, but using the automation to the benefit of then the business and being able to make the decisions based on that, and using the data in that, because now the data is so much more automated because the revenue teams don't need to put it together. The systems just put it on your email every morning. It's fantastic. So now it allows the team, and the advice I'll give is to encourage the revenue teams to think, look, deep dive, question, analyse, and be confident in challenging sort of the status quo and not being afraid to push back on decisions or why we need to do particular things.
I actually think you don't just look at your revenue performance. You've got to look right through the P&L. Because you can drive as much top-line revenue as you like, but if you've not got any control on your costs, it's not going to hit the bottom. It's not going to do any different, make any impact on your profitability. So I think as I said before, commercial teams have got to work more closely together to drive top-line revenue, but you've also got to work much more closely with the operational teams. Previous roles in management company, and you kind of got a head office, if you like. You're a support office, and we have to recognise it's a support function to support the operation. You've got to work again in harmony to make sure that you're not just driving revenue for revenue's sake, you're driving the right revenue through the building, through the top line, but then have got a real handle on costs through operations, through commercial functions, through IT, to make sure that the owner at the end of the day is optimising their profit. That's what matters.